today will be based on landscapes. So the first three and basic principle we should know a landscape is that it consists of three parts. Okay, so these three parts I will say real quick are the background, which is what is furthest away from us, the middle ground, which is whatever is in the center of the background, and the foreground. So the foreground is usually what you see at the front, what is closest to the viewer, and this is the part that takes more details, more colors and different hues and tones. So to show you something real quick is that the middle ground, as it moves further, the colors and the tones will be lighter, will be toned down. So if we see here this mountain that is way at the back is a lighter hue, in this case a light blue, and the ones at the front would be darker and has some details. You can see some indications of trees here in this mountain because it's closest to us, but as it recedes and goes further away from the viewer, the colors are opaque. As I said before, they are toned down to create this illusion of space. Okay, so the perspective here will be one point perspective, and we're moving from the front, which is the foreground, towards the back. The background will be anything that's further away. In the case of landscapes, it will be the sky. Okay, the middle ground, we can work with different tones here, but we still gotta keep our brightest and most pure tones for whatever is in the foreground. So we see here we have some indications of plants and trees. This is usually what we leave for last when working on a landscape. So if you guys have any questions, remember to comment or message me and I'll explain a bit more. I will then move on to give a demonstration on a small piece of canvas and show you these same principles here. First of all, I will be showing some of the colors that we will be using in this landscape practice. Remember, it's a study, so we're not gonna use too much colors, okay? Just the main colors for creating the effect that we want. Estaremos usando estos colores. No usaremos muchos colores porque simplemente es una práctica como para hacer un paisaje y crear ese efecto de distancia. Entonces tengo aquí lo que es mi azul, mi amarillo y mi verde y blanco para la parte del cielo. So you have blue, yellow, green, white, and we just try to keep it as simple as possible. Like I mentioned before, we have three parts of a landscape, which would be the background, what is farthest away from the viewer. In this case, it would be the sky, the horizon. We have the middle ground, which is what is in between our background and our foreground, which is what is at the front. Okay, so this is what is closer to the viewer. Usually we have trees, rocks, or other elements here at the front, which we add more details and put more work into it. Something I want to explain is that for the middle ground, as things recede, as things move further away from the viewer, the colors are toned down. So we usually work with pale colors to create that effect of distance. So the farther away a mountain is from us, the less the true color is gonna be shown. Okay, so if you have a bright green here at the front, the mountain is at the front, as it moves backward, it's gonna be toned down, it's gonna be paled out. It might even have some blue to reflect the sky color. Algo que quiero volver a explicar es que los colores de las montañas, a medida que se van alejando de nosotros, moviéndose para atrás, se van apagando los colores. Entonces, si tenemos un verde puro aquí oscuro, a medida que se va más lejos las montañas, se van apagando con colores más pálidos. Entonces, ese es el efecto que vamos a tratar de crear. I will start from what is farthest away, or at the top here, which should be the part of the sky. Empezaré con lo que está acá arriba, que en este caso es el cielo. We won't be doing any clouds in this practice, that will be for a separate lesson. At the moment we just want to practice how to create this distance in the landscape. Por ahora no practicaremos nubes ya, porque eso lo vamos a hacer en otro practice. Ahorita solo queremos hacer lo que es el efecto de distancia en nuestro paisaje. I'm adding some white as I'm moving down on the horizon. Estoy agregando un poco de blanco a medida que vamos bajando en el horizonte. If you guys look outside, the sky is usually darker at the top, and as we move to the horizon it's clearer. So that's the effect that we want to achieve here by adding white as we move down. So this is a blending. We're creating a gradient from a dark blue to a light one. Esta es una difuminación ya. Es una difuminación de un azul oscuro hacia un pálido. Aquí donde está nuestro horizonte. We will be working on the parts of the mountains here. Estaremos trabajando las montañas. Okay, keep in mind that as elements move away from us, in this case the mountains, the colors have to be toned down. Los colores tienen que ser apagados, más pálidos a medida que se va alejando de nosotros. Esto es lo que está más cerca, las montañas aquí están más atrás. So I'm gonna start adding some color. I'm gonna work with some blue. Why? Because since this mountain is far away from us, it reflects a lot of the sky color. Okay? Estoy usando un poco de azul para crear ese efecto de distancia. Too much green. I'm using a flat brush. It's kind of big, but if you feel you can work with a smaller one better, then do so. Estoy usando una brocha grande, pero si se les hace más fácil con uno pequeño, pues háganlo con uno pequeño. It doesn't have to stay really smooth. You guys can fix that if you want. No tiene que quedar muy liso. Si ustedes quieren, pues háganlo bien, bastante liso. Acá abajo usé más blanco para poder crear la división entre la otra montaña que voy a hacer. I added some white here to help me create this distance from one mountain to the other. So this one will be more at the front. So I still use some of my blues. So, as we're moving forward, we have to keep increasing the colors that we're using and use less white, so we get some more pure colors. Empezamos a usar nuestros colores más fuertes, más encendidos, y ya no usamos mucho de ese blanco. So we would call this color saturated green. The ones at the back are desaturated, so we don't get to see the fullness of the color, the strong hue or tint. In this manner, we're creating distance, moving into what will be our foreground here at the front. Estamos moviendo, creando esta distancia, pues moviéndonos de atrás, que está en la parte más lejano, y nos venimos hacia el plano medio, después al primer plano, que sería lo que está aquí enfrente. Now that I will be working this part of the mountain that is even closer to me, I will use a darker green. Estoy usando un verde más oscuro para representar ya lo que está más aquí cerca. So why is this darker green? It's because this mountain is closer to us. So we get to see the greens from the trees or whatever bushes are there more clearer. Might even add some yellow. Voy a agregar un poquito de amarillo para agregarle un poquito más de textura. That division from one mountain to the next. Okay. So from here now we will start working on what is on our foreground. Estaremos trabajando lo que ya está aquí en nuestro primer plano. We now move into what will be our foreground, which will be here. So I'm gonna start using some darker greens, probably put some black in there. Estaré usando un verde más oscuro para cuando estamos trabajando lo que es aquí el primer plano. Entonces uso un verde más oscuro para que me sirva de sombra, para cuando empiece a poner un poco de detalles, ¿no? I use a darker green so it serves as a shadow for future highlights on this part, which represents some trees which are closer to us or to the viewer. So you can go as dark as you want, just depending on how dark your shadow, how dark you want your shadows to be. Sorry. Okay. Let me add some more here. Como de oscuro quieren que esté su sombra, pues esa es la cantidad de negro que le pueden poner a su color. Bueno, entonces no sé si se ve, por ahora podemos ver un poquito ese efecto de distancia. I think we can see some of this effect here of creating a distance. What is further away from us starts to tone down, so we use pale colors, and what is closer to us we're gonna use some more bright hues. Got some paint here. Okay. So now I'll be adding some yellow to my green to make a lighter green. Un poco de amarillo a mi verde para que nos dé un color más brillante, más amarillo. And I'm gonna use this brush now to to create some highlights on these trees that are here on the front. Estaré haciendo un poco de indicaciones de árboles aquí enfrente. If you don't want your brush to be stick too much, you kind of open it or just tap it somewhere so it opens up a bit. Okay. This is a tapping motion. Don't press too hard. And also, you don't want to cover the whole thing, just here and there, wherever you want highlights of trees. No presionen mucho su brocha, solo en unas partes específicas que quieren que se vea los árboles. Added some more yellow. Added some more yellow to get even more highlights here. So this is an easy study of landscape. Now we'll be doing here something else. Create kind of like a cliff, like you're standing from here and looking down. Estaremos haciendo como que hay un barranco. I will be using here even more yellow on my green. Estoy usando más amarillo con este verde ahora. Recuerden que este solo es una práctica, un estudio. No estamos poniendo muchos detalles o elementos como zacate o piedras. Todo eso lo vamos a hacer en otra práctica, otros videos, ¿no? Remember, this is just a study, a practice, so we're not putting too many elements like grass and stones. That will all be done in another lesson. I will do a video on that, so we practice those kind of things. But for now, we just want to do this real quick and basically learn the three parts of a landscape. I will repeat again: background, the midground, and the foreground. Esta pequeña práctica solo es para que aprendamos las tres partes de un paisaje. Es el primer plano, el plano medio y lo que es el fondo. Luego estaremos añadiendo un árbol por aquí. We're gonna add a tree around here, coming up this way, to add even more perspective to this mini landscape. I will start off this tree here using some dark brown. Okay. Empezaré este árbol aquí con un poco de este café oscuro. Again, we will be doing a separate practice on creating trees, different types of trees and shapes and colors. So you don't have to add this tree in this practice. Estaremos haciendo otras prácticas aparte de cómo crear árboles, entonces no tienen que crear este árbol en esta práctica. So this is a huge tree that is up close here in our foreground. That's our base color, nuestro color de base. Start adding some highlights here, using some lighter browns, maybe some orange, some yellow. Estoy creando un poquito de detalles aquí con esos cafés que son más pálidos, los amarillos y anaranjados. add a few highlights. So I'm making even a lighter brown here. Almost looks like an orange. Start putting some highlights. Highlights usually go where you have some light hitting or where it's the lightest area. So I'm picking here, the front. The reason we add highlights is so that we don't have something looking too flat. We want it to look a bit more 3D and have the actual shape of the object. In this case of the tree, to add some bark texture. Okay, once we have that, we can start adding a few leaves here at the top. Estaremos poniendo ahora un poco de hojas aquí. I will start the leaves by using some green, some dark green. Empezaré usando un poco de verde oscuro para que me sirva de sombra igual. Dark green so as to create it will serve as shadow, then create a shadow effect. Add some more black to that. And again, you don't want to cover the whole thing. You still want some of the branches to show. Change from tone here and there. You don't have to stick to that dark green the whole time. Change. This will create a better effect. Pueden cambiar de tono de vez en cuando. Okay. Now I covered some of the mountain, but then this tree will help us create some more a better feel into this landscape. So I'm using the tapping motion again, just the tip of the brush. You do not want the brush to bend all the way down, you just want to use the tip of it to create this effect. I will be using a smaller brush now to put some highlights of the leaves on this tree. You can use the same big brush, but then you have to be a bit more careful. Maybe just use a part of the brush. Okay, well, since I have this one, then I'm gonna use the smaller brush. So I don't go straight with yellow. I still need to mix with some green. And then this is important. You need to pick where you want to put the highlights. I usually put it on the top of specific bunches of leaves. Okay, because if not, we can overdo it and cover the whole thing with just a yellow color, and we don't want that to happen. And it's the same movement, it's a tapping motion. Que quiere un poco de detalle, de highlights, usually at the top of the leaves, and then we can move into using maybe some pure yellow to create these divisions. Okay, that will be one here. I'll pick maybe this one as another one, and I'm using mainly yellow. I don't want to cover the whole thing, that's why I tap. Have another bunch of leaves here. I'll pick one here in the center. When you are doing your practice, you can do this however you want. It's like a freestyle tree. I will yet do a separate video on this for you all. Remember, if you have any questions, you can WhatsApp me or comment in the Google Classroom platform that we have. So I hope it shows well in this video. I'm sorry if I didn't explain well. It's a bit hard for me to explain in both English and Spanish. I get mixed up. But here we have it. We don't have any clouds, we'll do that later. If you have any questions, just let me know, but I would really like for you all to do this practice as soon as possible so we can move on to something else. This is a video for you. You can rewatch it as reference. If you all need me to do a live video, maybe to ask questions as we go, then that's okay with me as well. Just let me know. So thanks, and I will wait on for you to send me images of your practice you do at home.